You're listening to Puma Podcast.
Japan has sushi, Korea has kimchi, Vietnam has pho, and Singapore has kaya toast. Turkey has kebab, but what does the Philippines have? What's our signature dish known around the world? Is it adobo? Or perhaps lumpia? Who here is Team Sinigang? What about sisig? In this episode of Thought Bubbles, we look at the quest to put Filipino food on a worldwide scale like Chinese and Indian food. With the recent passing of Filipino chef Margarita Flores, the founder of Chibo, the Filipino food industry has lost a visionary who put Filipino cuisine on the global map. Through her passion, innovation, and deep respect for tradition, she elevated our flavors, our culture, and our pride. From Chibo to Grace Park, Chef Gaita's creations were not just meals, they were love letters to the Philippines. Her passing leaves a void, but her legacy lives on in every dish she inspired, and we will carry the torch as we continue to promote Pinoy food to the international stage. I'm an unapologetic foodie. Matakaw ako, plain and simple. I'll say yes to just about anything when it comes to food. Lately, there's been a growing global interest in Filipino cuisine beyond the expansion of Jollibee and other Filipino fast food chains in the United Kingdom, Spain, Italy, and the United States. More and more foreigners are developing a taste for pancit guisado, lumpia, and other Filipino dishes. From Japan to the Netherlands, Filipinos abroad are proudly sharing our flavors with the world. But is that enough to put Filipino food on the global stage alongside Korean or Indian cuisine? Today, I'm joined by Cho Marcelino, a seasoned culinary educator, former FMCG test kitchen sous chef, entrepreneur, baker, and pastry chef. He's also the co-founder of Kua Bakery, known for crafting high-quality artisanal breads and pastries that highlight technique, flavor, and customer convenience. Together, we'll break down what it really takes to push Filipino food onto the world stage. Hi, Cho. Welcome to Thought Bubbles. Thank you for being here in today's episode.
Hello, Bubbles. Thank you for having me.
We are so happy to have you. So, can you give us like a background on how you started with food? What made you interested in it?
Actually, nag-start siya ng maaga for me, no?
Mm-hmm.
Kasi I live with a very big family. We live in a compound. And parang halos lahat kami marunong magluto. And we
Mm-mm.
really enjoy cooking. Especially, if there are any events like birthdays, holidays that involve food, parang we always gather. And then it wasn't very hard for me to get started with cooking kasi my mom just let me play in the kitchen. And then, one thing led to another. And I've been a culinary educator actually for 10 years, for almost 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, I had a short stint with an FMCG company where I basically did parang test kitchen duties. I was a sous chef in the
Ah,
test kitchen, yes. And then
okay.
now I'm opening a bakery. So something of
Mm-mm.
my own. Yon.
Ah, I
So
see.
yon. Tapos may mga catering rin ako experience prior to that. We
Mm-hmm.
got to meet a lot of chefs. Pero talaga, pinakamatagal sa academe.
Based on social media alone, I think we can probably achieve world domination with pancit bihon and lumpia. Diba?
Right.
With the number of people posting their videos, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, or YouTube, preparing Filipino food. mainly pansit bihon, gisado, and lumpia, and the typical adobo, sinigang, and I think sisig is one of the most famous ones. And then they let their neighbors to eat and taste the food. So, what would it take for Filipino cuisine to dominate the culinary world, in your opinion?
Right. Okay. So, very interesting actually yung the way you asked that, no?
Mm-hmm.
Dominate, diba? Like,
Mm-mm.
we have to be recognized as a global cuisine. But I believe that before we are able to, reach that status of being recognized as a global cuisine, I think we have to be comfortable first with people actually not liking our food.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
if you notice the food items that you mentioned, the lumpia, the pancit bihon, as much
Mm-mm.
as I love them, I feel like Filipino cuisine can offer so much more than that. Lumpia is great. I love it. Everybody likes it. But that's the thing. When we serve Filipino food, like the ones you mentioned, we
Mm-mm.
kind of expect people to like it.
Right.
We've already proven that because of exactly what you mentioned. Those videos on TikTok, everybody liking them. You fry up some pork, put some salt in it, everyone's gonna love it.
Mm-mm.
But I feel like Filipino cuisine is, so much more diverse than that.
Mm-hmm.
We have so much more to offer. But um, I feel and I theorize that when we present these types of food that may be polarizing to others, we tend to water it down. We
Okay.
tend to change the personality, so to speak, of the dish, so that it's a little
Oo.
bit more likable, I feel.
Mm-mm.
When we introduce, I don't know, I've seen it so many times, but when somebody introduces dinuguan to perhaps a foreigner, someone who's never heard of it or seen it, it's always it's chocolate stew.
Mm-mm.
Just
Mm-mm.
say it outright. It's stew made with blood. It has pork
Yeah.
entrails, innards, all of the good stuff. So I feel like we have to be comfortable with people not liking our food first, such that
Mm-hmm.
we are actually able to present our food in the most, and I hate the word and I don't want to say it, but we have to present it in the most authentic way possible.
Right.
And that
Right.
comes with the risk of people actually not liking the food. And we have to be okay with that. And
Mm-mm.
I
Mm-mm.
and I feel like that was already observed with some cuisines,
Mm-mm.
like Chinese cuisine, Vietnamese cuisine, Thai cuisine. They're not out there trying to change the cuisine. Well, perhaps with the exception of Thailand, where they actually standardized a recipe and then they
The
substitute.
recipes. Uh-uh.
Yeah. With the exception of that, no one's watering down the recipes for other
Mm-mm.
people to like it. So they're just,
Mm.
we're enjoying our food. But if you want to join in, you're welcome. But if you don't like it, that's fine. So I
Mm-mm.
think
Mm-mm.
I think we need to adopt that mentality when it comes to our food. If you want to serve bagoong, go ahead, serve it, and then tell them what
Mm-mm.
it is.
Mm-mm. Dapat
No
walang
one will really
fear.
know.
Oo. Oo.
Yeah,
Wala dapat
exactly.
takot. Mm-mm.
Right.
Yeah, so you were saying that we shouldn't water down our food to adapt to certain
Yeah.
tastes, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Let's go back to that later kasi I also want to mention that last month world-renowned chef Gordon Ramsay went to the Philippines to open his restaurant in Soler. So, and when he was here, of course he was interviewed nonstop.
Right.
He had a lot of content made with content creators in all the platforms. And he mentioned in one of his interviews about our food being the sleeping beauty of Asian cuisine. In your honest opinion, do you think Chef Ramsay is correct in stating this?
I was thinking about this, and I
Mm-mm.
was thinking about that metaphor of
Mm-mm.
Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
Filipino cuisine being Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty had to be woken up by someone else, right?
Right.
So
Right. Oh, that's a whole fairy tale.
exactly. So it was something external. It's something external.
Mm-mm.
So Filipino cuisine needs to be woken up by someone else, and I feel like that reflects what I just said earlier.
Right.
Where and again, this is a matter of personal opinion. I do feel that we're a little bit insecure about our own food, such that we always need external validation. of
Yeah.
it.
Madali
Because
tayo ma-offend eh. Oo.
exactly, like, kailangan magustuhan nila 'to. So, I need to present it in
Yeah.
a way na magugustuhan talaga nila. And,
Mm-hmm.
ano 'yun, sino si Prince Charming na makakagusto, 'di ba, at gigising sa atin. So,
Mm-mm.
dun ko gustong, ayun yung gusto ko sana na ma-adapt natin na mentality na, "Wait lang, Sleeping Beauty, gumising ka on your own." 'Di ba?
Yeah, okay, okay,
Oo.
okay. Yes,
Yung
yes.
void of any external validation, we have to be okay with that, with
Uh-uh.
Filipino cuisine being what it is. So,
Mm-mm.
and present it in that way. So, para talagang, and again, I really want to avoid using the word, but, as authentic as possible when we present it. So, yes,
Okay,
I
so
agree na Sleeping Beauty siya.
Sleeping Beauty siya talaga of food.
Yeah.
So, does this mean that you don't like the mga fusion? Like Filipino
No,
fusion?
I love it. I think it's very creative.
Mm-mm.
But I guess we have to take a look at what we want to prioritize,
Okay.
and what we want to show the world, because those are two different things. The
Mm-mm.
artistic side and the creative side of chefs. That's something that needs to be celebrated as well.
Mm-mm.
But also heritage can also be celebrated. Diversity can also be celebrated, and I feel like those need to be approached differently.
Right.
There are already certain groups that are cooking in the way of like the olden days, like
Mm-mm.
slow food. There's that movement, and then there's another movement where they take Filipino cuisine and see how far they can push the boundaries of how creative it can be. There's that
Mm-mm.
aspect as well. But there's that aspect also, and I think we need to contextualize this, of how Filipinos, like the Juan de la Cruzes and
Mm-mm.
the masses, how they are experiencing Filipino food, and we have to see if that's an experience that we want to share to the world.
The reason why I was asking that is because my late father used to be cooking all the time. I mean,
Right.
he was a very talented, untrained cook, meaning he
Mhm.
self-taught himself to cook. He would buy recipe books, lahat ng klase, and then he would experiment, and he would let us eat the food. So regardless kung edible siya or not, we are we are we are bound to we are not unforced, but we were obligated to eat the food.
Right.
But he mentioned something to me that made me think that Filipinos tend to be very regionalistic when it comes to our cuisine. Meaning, and this is his prime example, because my dad can cook the best kare-kare, the best chicken pastel, but he always fumbles his adobo, whether it's pork or chicken. And what he says to me, and lagi niyang sinasabi to sa akin, I remember when he was still with us, was the reason why I cannot perfect an adobo or I cannot make a really, really good adobo is because wala tayong standard recipe for adobo. And it sort of, I don't know, it paralyzes him somehow. Kasi yun nga wala siyang nasusundan na recipe before he breaks it down. But adobo is cooked so differently from one household to another. So, do you think it's really a factor as to why we're having a hard time, probably launching the Filipino cuisine to the world center stage? Kasi as simple as an adobo recipe, we cannot even, you cannot even be one about which recipe is the right one or which recipe is the best one.
I agree that Filipino food is very regionalistic.
Mm-mm.
I agree, but that's not a bad thing.
Oo.
That's a bad thing.
So, of course, oo.
Yeah, but I don't think it's also a factor in us, getting recognized as a world cuisine or as a global cuisine. I don't think so. If you take a look at Indian cuisine, actually, because I read somewhere, I just can't remember where, na yung mga familiar sa mga tao na Indian cuisine actually comes from a very particular region only. It's not actually representative of their entire country. So, and yet we still recognize what it is. We know that it's Indian cuisine. Just can't identify. Probably if I was asked to if I were asked to identify which region that came from, I wouldn't know.
Okay.
And I think for Filipino cuisine, that also applies. It can still be recognized as Filipino cuisine without us having to have a consensus of, is it Filipino? Is it
Is
a
it? Yeah.
standard recipe? We
Yeah.
again, we have to celebrate that. We have to be okay with adobo being so drastically different from Luzon to Visayas to Mindanao,
To
even
Mindanao.
household to
Yes.
household, right?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So I think the focus should not be, finding, because there was an effort to do this. If I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken, there was an effort to standardize the recipe, and I really think that's, I believe that that shouldn't be our priority.
Okay.
Again, going back to how the Filipino experiences food. In my past experiences as a chef, have allowed me to observe people in their own households how they cook, and we do have a we do rely a lot on convenience products, and this is not a bad thing because it
Mm-mm.
allows people to enjoy food, nutritious food, more quickly without it sacrificing taste. We have a lot of we have the reliance on flavoring ingredients, flavor
Mm-hmm.
enhancers. Um, we also I've been able to observe that we also a lot of the households would skimp on protein because protein is
Right.
expensive.
Yeah.
Protein is expensive. They try to cook one dish a day that
Mhm.
they're gonna stretch for lunch
For the
to dinner.
entire day. Yeah. Mm-mm. Or the following
Exactly.
day pa.
Exactly. And then for breakfast, it's a lot simpler. It's just something fried, probably with an egg, maybe with
Mm-hmm.
bread or rice, or a day-old
Mm-mm.
rice that's fried. Something like
Mm-mm.
that. And maybe you can tell me, do you feel like that's an environment that can, you know, uh, like, yung parang magki-create ng best of the best ng Filipino?
Mm. Mm-mm.
Pero parang hindi siya conducive for that kind of creativity, that kind of pag-uusap or discourse
Mm-mm.
among people na parang, I have the best ganito. I have the best adobo. Parang,
Mm-mm.
how can I have an opinion on it? I don't eat it all that often because I can't afford pork. I can't afford
I
pork
see.
today.
Mm-mm.
So,
Mm-mm.
I feel like the experience, again, we have to contextualize it. Who's
Mm-mm.
experiencing it? Who are we doing it for?
Mm-mm.
At the end of the day, uh, I guess my opinion is we need to prioritize the Filipinos first. Before we even try
Filipinos.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, before we even try to dominate,
The
the world
world.
stage.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to feed the Filipinos first, such that the typical Filipino would have an opinion on
Yeah.
what the best adobo is, because I make it. I make it
Mm-mm.
all the time. I make
Mm-mm.
kare-kare all the time because it's not a luxurious food. It's not something I only eat on holidays or fiestas. Can you imagine a Philippines that is able to eat like a king every day?
And not just some
Right.
Filipinos, all
All
Filipinos.
Filipinos. Can you imagine? So I,
Mm-hmm.
I really feel that each Filipino will be their own ambassador for
Mm-mm.
our cuisine. And God knows we do not have a shortage of potential ambassadors all over the world. We
Exactly.
have so many Filipinos working as
So
OFW,
many. Yes. Mm-mm.
and yet something doesn't add up. Why?
Mm-mm.
There's so many Filipinos abroad, and yet why? And I've seen it also when I worked in the cruise ship. I would go to the ports, and there's always a
A
Filipino
Filipino
restaurant.
there. Yeah.
It's not just any restaurant, ha. It's a karinderya.
Mm-hmm.
Yung
Mm-hmm.
typical na karinderya natin na turo-turo, ganun yung, like, when I went to
Yung setup.
Mexico, yeah, ganun yung
Mm-mm.
setup, 'di ba?
Mm-mm.
So, iyon yung nakikita ng mga tao because iyon ang na-experience ng mga tao, iyon yung familiar, 'di ba, sa
Mm-mm.
kanila.
Mm-mm.
So, yun din yung itatayo nila. But
Sa
again,
ibang bansa.
sa
Yeah.
ibang bansa, but can you imagine kung biglang yung level ng karinderya natin would be at the level of, I don't know, off the top of my head, I'll think of
Hawkers,
street
tipong
food.
Singapore hawkers, yung mga
Exactly,
Michelin
'di
star.
ba?
Yeah. Mm-mm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
Japan, the street food in
Yeah.
Japan, the
The
street
street
food in
food in
Thailand,
Japan.
'di
Or
ba?
Korea, South Korea.
Exactly. So, ako ang pamantayan ko ng, ito magbe-breakout to ng world cuisine is if,
Mm-hmm.
yung when ano siya, great equalizer siya. Everyone eats there, 'di ba? Kung kahit
Yeah.
saang social status ka galing, kung sino ka man, 'pag kumakain kayo in the same place,
Mm-mm.
parang ako, ay, world cuisine, deserve.
All right. And I think that's a great point to end this particular conversation. But before I let you go, I just have to ask, because this has to be asked. No, are you team adobo, team sinigang, or team sisig?
Oh, no! Kung friends, okay, team sinigang ako.
Okay. Yeah, ako
Yes.
din. Pareho tayo. Team sinigang. I mean, I would eat all three. I will not say no to anything, but
Exactly.
it's sinigang. Thank you so much, Cho, for joining us today.
Thank you so much. I had a good time, Bubbles.
Me too. Thank you. Nakakagutom pag pagkain ang pinag-uusapan. Kayo, sa palagay nyo ba, ready na ang pagkain Pinoy sa world stage? We would love to hear your inputs on this, so please leave your comments on today's episode at the Q&A section on your Spotify app, or tag us on Instagram at Puma_podcast and on X at PumaPodcastPH with the hashtag ThoughtBubbles. Anthony Tobias edited this episode, and our editor-at-large is J. Mark Tordesillas. If you found this episode worth sharing, please send it over to your family and friends, and please subscribe to Teka Teka on Facebook, X, and on YouTube. Lastly, you can find me on Instagram and Threads at Bubbles Magpayo, and on TikTok at Bruja23. That's BREWHUH23. Would love to hear from you. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next episode.